So recently, I just watched the new M. Night Shyamalan movie Trap, and it was pretty good. To my surprisement, to my surprise, this movie follows a dad taking his daughter to a concert when he soon realizes that the entire event is a sting operation to try and catch a serial killer. That killer being the dad. Now, if you've seen the trailers, that's not a spoiler. That's how the movie is marketed. This is not going to be a slow burn mystery. This is not a whodunit. This is a cat and mouse type thriller. Can the dad and his daughter escape the concert without the feds catching them? First of all, the concept alone is cool as fuck. Whether you love or hate M. Night Shyamalan, you have to at least give credit. He is creative. He's been doing this for over 2 decades. It seems like he's still able to push out creative ideas, imaginative stories. This is a cool concept. For a cat and mouse thriller, I haven't seen a story like this. The movie's shot well, the cinematography is solid all around. There are a few shots that stick out, like near the beginning. You have this really cool shot of the stadium interior on the top floor, and you see all these chairs and they're in a specific color palette, and you're like, wow, that looks fucking beautiful. You have these shots of Josh Hartnett's eyes, and it looks sinister, and it creates like this tone like, ooh, fuck, this is creepy. Speaking of Josh Hartnett, he steals the show. He is absolutely fantastic as Cooper, I believe his name, the dad. He has to play this stereotypical, fun, goofy dad jokes, and he also has to play this underlining sinister psychopath that's underneath, and it's really fun. It's such an enjoyable performance. Almost reminded me of a more grounded and tame Patrick Bateman. Not saying that those performances are identical or as iconic as each other, but I just got those vibes, Everyone in the cast did pretty good. You have Ariel Donahue. I probably butchered that up. If you don't get that joke. The dad's nickname as serial killer is the Butcher. Duh. Fuck. Ariel Donahue. I'm gonna go with that. God bless. She plays the daughter Riley, and she's good in it too, which is fantastic because child actors in movies are usually dog shit because they're children and they shouldn't be working in the first place. But if you're gonna have them, at least have them be good, and she does great as Riley. Speaking of children, M. Night's daughter, Salika Shyamalan, plays Lady Raven, the woman who performs at the concert, and I believe Salika is a musician. She's a singer. She has to be because she was fucking great in this movie, singing wise. But acting-wise, she actually held her own. I didn't expect that. No shade to her or anything. It's more because of, I believe this is her first performance, or her first big-time role in a movie. And she was in the movie a lot more than I expected. No spoilers, obviously. But she plays a bigger part than I expected. I'll just keep it at that. Like, her acting had to come out in some scenes, and she held her own. I thought she did good. I won't say great, but I thought she was good. I think great has to go to Josh Hartnett. He, again, like I said, steals the show. Fantastic. What a fun, awesome performance. A memorable performance. I would say that is my favorite thing about the movie. The acting, again, specifically from Josh Hartnett, but there was no weak role. You even got Kid Cudi playing like this horny pansexual singer, and they were good too. For the 2 lines that they had. So Kid Cudi's character was obviously comedic relief, but that jumps me into the next segment, the writings. M. Night Shyamalan, if you're unaware, he has made bangers, The Sixth Sense, Split, Signs. Signs is fucking awesome. His best movie, objectively. But the man, when you're in the game so long, you can make some stinkers. And he's dropped a few. And he's dropped the stinker here. He's dropped the stinker there. It's usually I hear people shitting on the dialogue. That's the problem they have with his movies. If you look at his worst rated movies, 9 times out of 10, it's probably the writing itself that's the bad part. And when people say the writing of an M. Night movie is bad, the dialogue is bad, it's because they associate bad with unnaturalistic. It doesn't come off as 2 people talking in a movie. It comes off as 2 aliens dressed up as humans having a conversation. It doesn't sound like real people having a back and forth. The unnatural dialogue can be summed up into either over exposition or maybe unbelievably witty one-liners back and forth, or just tone deafness in general. When you have wonky dialogue, it really makes it difficult for the actors to put on a good, convincing performance because they have to read and act out those shitty lines and it really makes everything hard to believe. Even if they're acting good, but the dialogue itself is bad, it can trick the audience into thinking that is a bad performance. Sometimes it is a bad performance, sometimes it isn't, and they're just given dog shit to work with. So now the question is, does Trap have bad writing? No, it does not. I have seen bad writing in M. Night's movies. Old came out, I think 2021. Old has the worst dialogue I've seen in recent years. Old has bad writing. Trap does not have dialogue like Old. It doesn't have dialogue like all these bad movies that you want to claim as bad writing. I've seen some people critique Trap as, oh, has M. Night ever talked to a human and whatnot? That is a valid criticism for his other movies. This movie doesn't have that. There's probably maybe a few lines where you're like, it's a little... Or a few of the comedic elements, like Kid Cudi's pansexual horny character. But it's never, at least for me, maybe I'm an M. Night veteran, I don't know, but it never got to the point where it was distracting, where I was like, oh, this is terrible, what am I listening to? In fact, I would say Trap is one of his most accessible movies when it comes to the dialogue writing alone. Now, I've seen some people try to criticize the writing of Trap, but I've actually seen more people, at least on film Twitter, because unfortunately I am on film Twitter. I know. I've actually seen more people defend M. Night on film Twitter, obviously. Again, I know that is a very small portion of the internet. I know if you go to his Rotten Tomato scores, most people are kind of dogging on the movie, but I'm more interested in the conversation that's going on in the community that I'm part in. And they're saying M. Night doesn't have bad writing, it's not bad dialogue, at least in an objective sense, it's his style. It's his stylized writing, stylized dialogue, and it's just not for you. You don't get it, bro. And they'll bring up examples like Wes Anderson, they'll bring up, I've seen people talk about Yorgos Lanthimos, David Lynch, and they'll say, you guys are not hating on these directors, but you're hating on M. Night. And their defense to that is, if you ever seen a David Lynch movie, Yorgos Lanthimos movie, Wes Anderson movie, the characters in their movies, they're also unnatural. They don't have realistic dialogue. It's stylized as well. Okay, well, one, they do get shitted on for those exact reasons. I will admit, not nearly as much as M. Night does, but you will 9 times out of 10 see a Wes Anderson hater or Yorgos Lanthimos hater complain specifically about the dialogue and how they have their actors perform and read their lines. That is usually a barrier for people. Now here's the difference though. If you're gonna do the style argument and just say it's M. Night style and it's just not for you, and compare that to Wes Anderson style or Yorgos Lanthimos style, I don't think that works, and here's why. From beginning to end in a Wes Anderson movie, and this is coming from a person who's not a fan of Wes Anderson. I like a few of his movies, but his style isn't necessarily for me. From the beginning of a Wes Anderson movie all the way to the end, same with Yorgos Lanthimos, the protagonist, the antagonist, the side characters, all the extras, everybody acts the exact same fucking way throughout the entire thing. They are unnatural, it is stylized dialogue, but it doesn't break immersion because from the get-go, it's consistent with that. If you're watching a Wes Anderson movie, within 10 minutes, it's concrete. This is how the movie's gonna be, this is how I want my characters to talk, this is how they're gonna talk for the whole movie. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna fucking hate it. It forces you to either get immersed or not. From the get-go, you're either gonna ride with it or you're gonna be like, this is dumb bullshit, I don't want this is pretentious, or I don't like how they just talk in general. Both off. Same with Yorgos Lanthimos. Same with David Lynch. That's why I think the style argument works better for them. When it comes to M. Night movies, it seems the writing is being based off of a flip of a coin. You have one scene where it comes off as natural, like as if you're watching a David Fincher movie, just normal back and forth dialogue, how normal people would talk. And then in the next scene, you get that stylized dialogue, aka the bad writing happens, and it sticks with you because it breaks the immersion. They don't talk like that throughout the entire movie. They talk like that probably 50% throughout. So when you hear it, it sticks out more and more. So when you hear bad fucking stupid lines like, just give me a second, just let me think. A bad writing just seems to stack up and it becomes more prevalent and it's just breaking the immersion to the point where it's laughable. Now, if you want to get meta about it and say that his style is the inconsistency, like, one scene is natural, one scene is not natural, and in that together is his style, whether it's for you or not. I mean, you can make that argument. Art is subjective, you're not wrong, but don't be surprised why he has so many haters, why his Rotten Tomato score always looks fucking green. But the writing here is good. In fact, this is easily top 5 M. Night movies. In fact, hold on. Signs, The Sixth Sense, Split, Trap, yeah. No, top 4 then. Because Trap is better than Unbreakable. Unbreakable is overrated. This is top 4. This is top 4 M. Night movies, yeah. Now, there are a few absurd moments in the movie where things happen to the characters and you're thinking, that would have happened in real life, or that seems kind of dumb. I'm never a person to say turn your brain off and enjoy shit. I think that's dumb as fuck. You should never turn your brain off. But there is a fine line. There is a gray middle between turn your brain off and being a nitpicky asshole. If it doesn't mess up the story or the character arcs, that's what I care about the most. That won't break the immersion for me. So even though there are a few little moments here and there, it never bothered me. It never got to the point of old. So that 2 thumbs up for that one. The ending is a little eye-rolly. It's not bad, it's not horrible, but it's like, okay, we're in a movie. But throughout the whole movie, nothing broke it. This is the first M. Night movie I've seen in a minute where I enjoyed it from beginning to end. I thought it was cool. I thought the acting was good all around, especially from Josh Hartnett, the best part of the movie. The concept is great. I am not an M. Night hater. In fact, I think M. Night is one of the most important names in cinema right now, unironically. I wish there was more people like him in movies, because he clearly loves movies. He clearly loves making movies. He clearly loves watching movies. I think that there should be more big name directors out there like him who just, even with the criticism and the hate that they do get, they don't give a fuck. They're going to keep pushing whatever the fuck they want. He is unapologetically M. Night Shyamalan. That is a real artist right there. Unapologetically making the art however the fuck you want to make it, and this is easily one of the best movies he's ever made. This is a fun thriller. It's a nice cat and mouse thriller. The movie's also pretty unpredictable. It takes twists and turns where you don't expect it to, and at first I was like, wait a minute, I liked what we were doing back there, can we do that again? But I was like, chill, let's just see where it goes, and it kept me engaged throughout. I did not expect the movie to go where it did. Again, this is not Oldboy, but it was a good movie all around. I'm giving M. Night Shyamalan's Trap a 6 out of 10. I would recommend it. Watch it if it's still in theaters. Now hold your horses, because it is now time for similar recommendations. So I finished the Trap review recording it yesterday. And today I was going to upload it. I was editing it, and I thought, why not? And not just for Trap, but all my reviews, at the end of them, once I give the final score, recommend either 1 or 2 movies that are similar in one way or another to the movie that I just got done reviewing. And in this case, obviously that'd be Trap. My first similar recommendation today, I would recommend Duncan Skyles' The Clovage Killer from 2018. So this movie follows a teenage boy who basically starts to suspect that his father may be the infamous Clovage Killer, a serial killer who's never been caught. So that premise alone is fucking crazy. And it's crazier because this movie is not similar to Trap in terms of tone. Trap went for more of a cat and mouse thriller, try to escape the one area, try to survive, that type of vibe, like a fun, fast-paced thriller. The Clovage Killer is a slow burn, psychological mystery. It's very unnerving, it's very chilling. It honestly gives vibes of like a David Fincher movie. If you're a fan of Zodiac, Gone Girl, Seven, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, this is a must-watch then. This movie is not graphic nor necessarily violent, but it is unnerving just because of the things that it's insinuating, the things that you don't see, but you'll know when you watch it. The movie's atmosphere is very creepy nonetheless. Everyone in The Clovage Killer is good, but Dylan McDermott as the father, he does the whole stereotypical dad jokes and whatnot, but also in this movie we don't know if he's the killer or not, so it's, can we trust this guy? Are these jokes supposed to be kind of funny with a little bit of, lame dad humor, a little cringiness, or is there like a dark tone underneath all of this? I believe right now The Clovage Killer is streaming on Netflix. I recommend you just go watch it, don't watch the trailer. Just like Trap, it takes some unexpected twists and turns. Again, they are pretty different in terms of tone, but it's a great movie. It is pretty disturbing, but not in a graphic sort of way. More just, it will get under your skin. It's very creepy. For my other similar recommendation, I do want to go with Jeremy Saulnier's Green Room from 2015. So Green Room follows a punk band and they perform at a neo-Nazi venue. And one thing leads to another, and without spoiling anything, they are no longer allowed to leave the premise alive. This is the very definition of a high-intense cat and mouse thriller. If you like the concept of basically your main cast in a movie they're trapped in one location and the whole movie takes place at this one location and they're trying to fight their way out. It does get more nail-biting, fast-paced than Green Room. And that does come with a catch. This movie will not be for everybody because this movie is dark as fuck. It is so depressing. Just because the tone, unlike Trap and the Cloverfield Killer, this movie is very graphic, it's very violent, but it's not done in a poor taste, or it's not torture porn like you would see in the Saw films or the Final Destination movies. What I mean by that is, if someone were to get shot in this movie, they're not like, oh fuck, I got shot. And like, they will cry, scream, panic, and when they get fucking popped, their body just lifelessly drops. That's it. And the bandmates of this punk band, they're like college kids, and they just got themselves in this crazy situation. First of all, the neo-Nazis feel very realistic, and that's what adds to this level of dread and depression. They're not cartoonishly evil like some Nazis from the Sons of Anarchy. These feel like genuine fucking horrible scumbags trying their absolute hardest to get to the green room where these kids are, because the kids are secluded in one room, the green room, and they're trying everything they can to just get the fuck out and survive, and these Nazis are trying everything they can to just murk these kids. It's crazy. But it is exhilarating because the movie shows you that the stakes are always up. It doesn't let go. The violence that is being depicted, you really just don't want it to happen to them, because again, it doesn't feel like an action movie. It feels like you're watching these kids panicking and screaming and trying to find their way out. Yeah, this movie's insanely intense. I know some people complain about the bad decision making because that is a horror trope, and apparently it's up to another level in this movie. I haven't seen this movie in a couple years. I don't remember it being that much of an issue, or at least in terms of immersion breaking. Like, I bought it because these are college punk dumb kids who are in a horrible situation. Everything just felt realistic. I never thought, oh my god, you're an idiot. I always thought like, oh my god, where are the cops? So in a way, I would say that this is probably this is easily the most disturbing movie out of the three I talked about in this video. This one is pretty fucked up, but it is the most high intense, fast-paced thriller. Like, you won't be bored at all throughout the movie, just if you could stomach that tone and the very graphic violence that comes with that. So yeah, that just about does it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if there are other movies similar to Trap that you would like to recommend, or any movies that you want me to talk about in the future. I am planning on doing the Alien franchise ranking. I caught up with all of Alien. I talked about Alien Romulus already. That video is already on my YouTube channel. Click on that, watch that, please. It is so smart and objectively right. It's so cool. Alien franchise ranking will be soon. I have seen a lot of movies this year that I haven't covered on the channel. I may just do a big video talking about a bunch of them. Longlegs, Oddity, Cuckoo. But if you want individual things, let me know. Twisters. I need to watch Borderlands. But yeah, this is awesome. This is fun as always. Thank you so much to anyone who's watching this, and I'll see you at the next one.